In China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 攞底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you're called 笋盤, which means quality real estate.
I was praying Friday prayer, Jumu'ah, in my local masjid, in Luton here, just the other day. And the khatib, the gentleman who's responsible for delivering the sermon, the Friday prayer sermon, the khutbah, he mentioned at the conclusion of his sermon that there is a marriage networking event taking place here in Luton. But what he said next is what caught my attention. We have an epidemic of Muslim sisters here in Luton in their early, mid, and late 30s who are unmarried. Single Muslim women in their early, mid, and late 30s who are unmarried. And this event was specifically designed, tailored to cater for this growing epidemic. Now, we can point fingers and lay blame wherever we want to for the reasons for this. And I know why this situation has come about in the first place. The reason is obvious. Women have priced themselves out of the market globally. They spent a lot of time on their education and on their careers. And then when it came time to settling down in their late 20s and early 30s, they realized all of the men that they believed they were eligible for were either already taken or are simply not interested in them. And the rest of the men who are interested in them, because make no mistake, these women have options. Kevin Samuels was wrong, guys. When a woman gets to early, mid, late 30s, 40s, she does not become invisible. She has options. She just doesn't have options from the type of men she wants. It's the average Abdullah who's interested in her. And she, by and large, is not interested in the average Abdullah. And hence she becomes a cat lady. And she's at home with her parents at 39 years old, having never been married, doing God knows what, stuck in a profession or a career that she hates, lamenting the fact that her best years, her prime years have passed her. And now she believes not only are her prime years past her, but she believes she deserves more than what a 20-year-old sister would demand or expect from her brother. Because why? She's been waiting for longer and she has more qualifications, and so by extension she believes that she deserves more. We have a crisis, we have an epidemic, and this is just the beginning. In the Morgan Stanley report, which is a banking institution, remember, they predict that by 2030, 45% of all prime-aged working women, that is between the ages of 25 to 45, will be single and childless. Single and childless. So before I propose some solutions as to how we go about curing our society of this problem, and a problem it is, I want to go through some of the comments of the video that you saw at the beginning of this video of the Chinese lady. And what's super interesting are the comments of the ladies who actually fit this description of being the leftover woman, as is the translation in Mandarin, or the orange at the bottom of the basket. Bruv, if you're enjoying the video so far, do your boy a solid and headbutt the like button, bruv. But to the sisters who fit this description, who are in their 30s and are still not married, there is hope. Believe me, there is hope, and I will tell you what that hope is, because 25% of you who watch me are women. So I will tell you what that hope is. There is still hope for you. All is not lost. But you're going to have to listen and take instruction, or don't, and continue living the life that you are. Miserable and alone. Alone and miserable. Joanio says, someone needs to start a dating app for women over 30 called Orange at the bottom of the basket. Whitney Hart says, I'm 35. I'm pretty sure I'm called dead at this point. But here comes the copium. JJ Rodriguez says, in my Puerto Rican household, it's called peace and freedom. Now, Neng Acha, she says, while some people do stay single because they want to, some simply haven't found the one. This is not an indication. This is not an indication of them being difficult or problematic. But choosing a life partner is a complex issue. No, my friend, you are a complex issue. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me loud and clear. Ladies, sisters, ladies, specifically you. If you have not been able to find your life partner in your prime, late teens, early 20s, with the exception of very few of you who have genuine, legitimate excuses, and no, it's not you watching right now, so don't think it's you. With the exception of very few of you, if you did not marry during your prime, you were the problem. You were the problem. I know you had options. I know you had men coming your way, because that's just the way it goes for a young woman. Even when she's average looking, she still has tons of suitors coming her way. But you rejected them and you turned them away. And now you have regrets, and you wished that you had taken that man up on his offer when you were 22. You wished that you had said yes to that man when you were 24. You wished you didn't turn away the other gentleman when you were 26. And now you're 33, living with regret and remorse, wishing, if only, torturous statement, you are the problem. She continues, some choose to get married to avoid stigma and end up being a single parent with problematic child. Fear-mongering. Fear-mongering. Whilst this is true and this can absolutely happen, the risk of becoming single and a single parent, there's also a risk of being single and not being a parent at all. Pick your poison.
Shut up, your mouth, Obama.
Is a woman being single in her 30s an indication of her being problematic or not? And I mean specifically that she's never been married before. Never mind those who have had multiple marriages. That's a whole nother story. But those who have never been married before, is it an indication of her being difficult? The answer is a resounding yes, obviously. So it's all well and good us pointing fingers at the problem. Maybe even saying, told you so, ladies. We warned you this was going to happen. We warned you the epidemic of single women was coming. We told you. We can do that. But that doesn't bring us a solution. And we as men are solution-oriented creatures. What is the solution? Well, ladies, you're not going to like it, but it's a solution nonetheless. If you are a sister who's never been married before, or indeed if you have been married before, frankly speaking, you're in the same basket. But let's just presume that you've never been married before, Muslim woman, and you're in your early, mid, late 30s. And remember, I say marry specifically because as Muslims, we don't date. We don't have girlfriends or boyfriends, or at least we shouldn't. But if you find yourself in this situation, then here are your choices. Number one, if you want that type of man that you believe you deserve, you're going to have to share him. Because good men are like a box of chocolates. The best ones are always taken first. So you can have him. And Islam facilitates and provides a solution. But you will have to share him. Meaning you will be his second, third, or fourth wife. Solution B, which is the solution I have a greater inclination to, that I am more in favor of, because I have the backs of the average Abdullah. Solution B is, because the population is still pretty much 50-50 globally in terms of ratio of men to women. It's a myth that there are more women than men. We are almost 50-50 at this moment in time. Bearing that in mind, almost 30% of men aged between the 18 and 30 are involuntarily celibate because they are being rejected by ladies like you. Option B is you suck it up and you realize that average Abdullah is the man you deserve, because you, Habibti, are basic Bushra. You just have an identity crisis. If you truly deserved the type of man you say you do, you believe you do, trust and believe, you'd already be married. You wouldn't be out here single, moaning, griping, and complaining. You would be married. So clearly you don't deserve him. Those are your two options. Pick your poison. I've actually done a live stream on this discussion, and one caller that called in was actually a sister who's in her 4th year of medicine and has rejected, turned away no less than 20 men. You can catch that video right here.